All right, I'm Mike Moranto for DaemenWildcats.com, and really happy to be joined by another one of our great alums, a standout cross-country track and field runner for us just this past decade, Mackenzie Donahue Lowe, now that you're married to a former men's tennis player here, Greg Lowe. Mackenzie, how are you? Thank you for joining me.
Good. Thank you for having me.
So we've been doing these alumni features now for a couple weeks, and it's great to get a chance to catch up with folks from years past. I've done people from prior to my tenure here at Daemen, but it's good to be talking with somebody that I'm a little bit more familiar with, because I had a front row seat to be able to watch you in your career, and the things that you accomplished were just amazing. I mean, I could run down a list here. 19 top 10 finishes in cross country. You're still the record holder in the 5K and the 6K. 15 all conference honors between cross country, indoor and outdoor track. So I guess overall, Mackenzie, tell me about your experience here running at Daemen.
Yeah, I had a really great experience running at Daemen. I loved the kind of small school atmosphere. So everyone, like athletes, coaches, staff in the whole athletic department were super supportive and always kind of knew what was going on with all the athletes. So it was nice to have a small community to just have that support and encouragement all around. So I had a really great experience at Daemen.
So I want to jump right. Actually, I want to kind of lead up to this kind of big accomplishment that you had in your senior year. But in order to get there, we gotta backtrack, and I want to go 2015. Okay, it's our first year as a full-fledged NCAA Division II member, and you become the first Daemen athlete to qualify and compete in an NCAA championship event. Now, here's what I want to ask you about that. It's the sport of cross country. You qualified as an individual. Our team placed fourth in the region, so the team missed qualifying by one spot. Tell me, how did you balance having individual success but still being disappointed from a team success standpoint?
Yeah, looking back, that was definitely kind of like a tough situation, because I was very excited individually to qualify, but it definitely would have been a lot more meaningful to have a team experience and have the whole team qualify as well. So just kind of try not to like over celebrate, to just like stay humble about it, and just kind of try to help teammates that are feeling bad that they couldn't go. But it was definitely, it was a little bit of a balancing situation where I still wanted to be excited to go. But yeah, it was definitely hard at a team standpoint.
So you end up going the race that year. It was mid to late November, was in Joplin, Missouri. Tell me about that experience. It was just you and Coach Lagno right at that point. You guys traveled down and got a chance to compete against the best Division II runners in the country.
Yeah, that was a super exciting experience. I think I was like a little bit overwhelmed by it all, just because it had been such a new stage to be competing at the national level. So that one was kind of like a test run experience for the other national championships that I went to after. I think at that point I was just so excited to be there that I wasn't in a super competitive mindset at that point. But just like having that experience was really, really cool. And even though I didn't have my team there, it was, I was glad to share it with Coach Lagno.
And I mean, you end up finishing 69th, and people might say, "Oh, 69th, that's not." I mean, there's 250 runners in that race, so you're still in the top third of the runners in the country. If we jump forward then a year, so you go into your senior year, high expectations going into that year for yourself and for the team. You had another solid year, runner-up at the East Coast Conference Championship meet for the second year in a row. team finishes fourth at the regionals again. Tell me about that.
Yeah, that was a lot tougher that year around. I was coming off of an injury during that cross country season, so it was a little bit harder to get going again and get the team motivated at that point. There was like a lot of, I think a couple of us had injuries at that point, so it was definitely hard to get in that competition. But we placed higher than I thought we would. But I was definitely crushed from an individual standpoint as well, because I had high expectations for myself and for the team. But I think it just wasn't realistic at that point. But yeah, it was definitely tough to get through, but that just kind of helped me fuel me for the track season and helped us kind of put our heads down and start training for the next event.
So exactly that. And by the way, even, battling through an injury, you still finished 10th in that regional meet. So nothing to, be down about really looking back on. And I think you missed qualifying individually, I think by one place too.
Yeah.
But like you said, moving on to track, you get to the track season and you qualify for NCAAs both indoor and outdoor. You end up placing in the top 10 in the 10,000 meters and outdoor, become an All-American at the Division II level. What did those, qualifying in all three, cross country, indoor, and outdoor, is a pretty neat accomplishment. What does that mean to you?
Yeah, I'm just really grateful for the whole experience and being able to have that opportunity to train at that level. Just kind of going through the obstacles, like injury obstacles, being crushed by missing out on NCAA championship berths. It just helped me it just kind of fueled the fire for being able to train for those next couple national championships. But I'm just kind of grateful for the whole experience of being able to work hard, have good teammates, have good coaches to help me get to that opportunity to compete at those levels. So definitely just grateful for the whole experience. And it's just so cool to be able to go to all three as well.
You mentioned teammates. Tell me, we're talking a lot about this as cross country and track are one of those things, one of those sports that it's obviously very individual performance based, but you're also a part of a team.
Yeah.
Who are some of those teammates that you developed close relationships with during your time here, and who do you stay in contact with?
Definitely Amy Trabert and Brittany Denton were my two closest teammates. Still in contact with them all the time. They were actually bridesmaids in my wedding, so very close to them. But the three of us, we ran together almost every day, even if the team didn't meet. So we really were able to kind of discuss our goals together and just kind of able to share those with each other so that we could stay accountable and just work hard every day, knowing that the person next to you is working just as hard to achieve similar goals. So it is a very individual sport, but you need a team to help you get to the next level.
Yeah, see, it's funny how you run with the same people,
Yeah.
and still today I was going out to lunch and there's our 6 or 7 girls from our team running down the street.
Mm-hmm.
So I imagine those bonds really get formed when you're spending that much time running and training together.
Yeah.
And, looking ahead now, running isn't just something that you've kind of conquered during your college years. You've been able to continue running somewhat professionally here, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So after college, I actually, Coach Paul Lagno still continued to coach me for a couple years after, and I was trying to stay competitive in road races locally and just out of state a couple times. And then this past couple months, I actually officially joined Asics Greenville Elite Track Club in Greenville, South Carolina. So I am running semi-professionally down here, and have new teammates and new coaches to work with. And it's an Olympic development program for post-collegiate athletes. So I am still trying to work towards my running goals.
And obviously, we're living through a really trying time right now with the global pandemic. How has that affected your training, if at all?
Yeah, it's affected it a little bit. In one way, there's not too many race opportunities right now, just with the pandemic. But it did. I actually was injured this past winter, so if I was going to be injured at any time, that was the best time. So I am grateful for that. So it didn't affect me as much as other people that were healthy and ready to race. So I was just kind of getting in base training, base miles, and trying to start getting more prepared so that when competitions do arise, I'll be ready for them. But now that I'm starting to get back in shape again, I am kind of looking towards more opportunities. I know there's a couple teammates of mine have gone to races where you have to have a couple like negative COVID tests before you can start, and there's no fans or anything. So it's just, there's some races that just have elite fields in them. So it's definitely influenced competitions.
Sure.
But training is the same.
And then how about your husband, Greg? As I mentioned, he was a former men's tennis player here. He actually ran cross country for a year or two, I believe.
Yeah.
And sure, you probably had some influence in talking him in to do
Yeah.
that. But he's a graduate of our great physical therapy program here. So tell everybody what he's up to down there in South Carolina.
Yeah, so he is now working for Purpose Physical Therapy. It's a sports-focused PT clinic. So he is working long hours, 4 days a week, but then he gets a nice long weekend, and he is super into like trail running and obstacle course racing. So he's still staying fit and active on the side as well, but he's really loving his physical therapy career as well.
Sure. Well, it's been great to have this small window of opportunity to catch up with you, Mackenzie, and learn a little bit about what you're doing, and Greg as well, a couple of East Aurora, Western New York natives here, and Daemen graduates. So I want to thank you again for taking the time. And again, we'll be continuing with these alumni features on DaemenWildcats.com throughout the fall 2020 semester. Thank you, Mackenzie.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, you're welcome. Bye.
Bye.